think that the ceremony is significant and the remembrance of it, the observance of it is key. That people's lives are tragically impacted and in such a incredible way that it's important to remember it, to focus on it so that we don't forget about it. We don't let our guard down to potential future threats.
At the time, I was the Wellesley's town clerk, and I was driving to work and heard it on the radio, and at the time it was thought to be an unfortunate accident. By the time I arrived at work, or shortly after I arrived at work, the second plane hit, and that became very clear that this was no accident, and was quite a awful incident that, as you know, as you said, we all remember.
It was one of the most significant tragedies in American history, and it really hit home. Everybody in America watched it on TV, and more importantly, it came right home to residents here in Wellesley that were impacted. And when you meet these people and you imagine that your family member being directly involved, you can't have but empathy and sympathy, and we do this out of our commitment, respect, to show that we support and care about them, and we'll never forget what happened, both on a national level but on a very personal level.
I can remember thinking to myself, this is not an incident that builds character. What it does is reveals character. The character of this nation was revealed that morning when you saw how we as Americans responded to that situation. And I want to thank our first responders in particular for, selflessly, time and time again, going into emergency situations and never knowing what they're going to be dealing with and trying to make something better out of something that is tragic. And they've done so in this instance. We're a stronger nation today than we were 13 years ago, but we always have to be vigilant, and I thank all of our public safety people for all that you do every single day. Thank you very much. God bless America. Thank you.
I have been at the ceremony, I believe, every year since the first one, which would have been a year after 2001. And I think it's important for a couple of reasons. The first being just to continue to remember those Wellesley residents that were lost on 9/11. One of them was one of my neighbors. And so I, just from a personal point of view, I feel strongly about not forgetting those people. But additionally, and I think importantly for the larger community and the state and the residents, I think it's important that we recognize that, as I said in my remarks, that as a result of the events of 13 years ago, our country has been involved in armed conflict almost since that time, and I think it's easy for us to forget that. And as I also said, the role of our public safety officers was forever changed, and that's another thing that when we see the firefighters or the police directing traffic or the firefighters out responding to a call for a small house fire, I think it's not, we don't have it in the front of our minds that they also have other responsibilities now. And when you take together the impact that this has had both on our public safety officers and on those young men and women who have been in the military and have had to serve overseas, many of whom are from Wellesley, and many of whom have had significant consequences as a result, I believe we need to always remember and most importantly support those young men and women when they come back. And I think if we don't continue to have events like this and people acknowledging what the legacy of 9/11 is, that those young men and women will not be appropriately and adequately recognized and supported.
The Wellesley Police Honor Guard has always been a really fine touch to the ceremony, and we're really proud of them. And then last year, the Wellesley firefighters organized an honor guard, and now they stand shoulder to shoulder, which is often the case. It's a nice ceremonial tribute, but it's very symbolic that that's kind of how it works out on the street too. We're shoulder to shoulder with them. My last thought on it is I truly appreciate the firefighters, the police officers, the citizens, the veterans, and all our political representatives and our co-workers all attending. It means a lot. It shows our great values and commitment to the families that lost their family members on that day, and particularly our 4 residents. So it's a very, very fitting tribute to their family.